College debt. It is something that's on the minds of many parents as kids are getting ready to head back to school. This mother in Michigan decided to start panhandling to help raise money for her daughter's college tuition, and her cry for help has gone viral. All of that is happening as the state of Maine considers helping people pay off student debt. Hello everybody, I'm Lee Goldberg. Thanks for joining us live on Facebook and on television.
And I'm Amanda Hill. I'm live at the State House in Augusta. Lots going on today, including the fact that lawmakers have actually tabled that proposal to help pay off student debt. That means they won't get to it until January. Think about how this impacts families. The average student debt right now is like $30,000 to $40,000. So jump in on this conversation by heading to our Facebook Live right now, and I will be back in a moment with much more on that proposal. Lee?
All right, Amanda, thanks. We'll see you in just a bit. But first, we want to focus on the controversy that's kind of surrounding the idea of getting some help to pay for your college. We've had hundreds of Mainers commenting about this on Facebook today. Some people say, hey, we've saved properly to pay for college. Others say the help from the state is desperately needed. This is our Pulse question today. We want you to weigh in. Go to pulse.newscentermaine.com or open our mobile app and click on the Pulse tab to vote. You'll see the results throughout the show at the bottom of your screen. Now, Jessica Gagne joins us now, and Jess, you spoke with the mom who was kind of behind that viral video in the first place, and you know, she's getting a lot of attention for sure.
That's right. People are really passionate about this topic because it's not only a struggle for people here in Maine, but a struggle for people everywhere across the country. So one mom decided to hit the streets to get some help. She works as a bus driver, and her husband has worked for 31 years in a factory. And she told me today that they already have $60,000 worth of student loan debt hanging over their heads after putting their first daughter through school. So now she's taking a stand, something some parents don't agree with and others wish they had done.
On the side of the road with a sign, Lori Truex says she can't borrow anymore. She's turning to her Michigan community for help and hoping to shine a light on the burden of student loan debt.
This was not a campaign to get Kendall to college debt-free. This was more an attempt to avoid any more Parent Plus loans that we really can't afford.
The Truexes helped put their first daughter through college. Now their second daughter, Kendall, is heading to Michigan State. Kendall worked as a lifeguard and received grants and loans, but it still wasn't enough.
You feel like you've failed your kids.
People say all the time that, oh, I don't know how anybody could ever make it work. There's ways.
Christine Bedford of Wyndham says she never expected her single mother or anyone else to pay for her to get a degree. She worked 3 jobs to put herself through St. Joseph's College, saying handouts were out of the question.
That's not the ethic that my family instilled in me. You know, they taught me very young that if you want something, you need to work for it. Nobody is going to hand you anything.
But in Perry, Maine, Janelle Hennequin knows what it's like to work hard and save, then watch it all fall apart.
My husband was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, 200 miles a day round trip for 6 or 7 months for radiation and chemo. That took up all of her college funds.
Her husband died, and her daughter now works as an EMT and has raised enough money to go to school to get her paramedic's license. But Janelle wishes she could have helped and understands why Lori Truex chose to ask for a leg up.
There are circumstances, that a lot of people don't know about, and until they've walked in her shoes, nobody can pass judgment.
Along with the money she's collected on the street, Lori Truex has already raised $3,000 through a GoFundMe page. Her funding goal is listed at about $24,000. Amanda?
Thanks, Jess. So what exactly was the state looking into to help students looking to get rid of some of that debt? Let's look at some of the key points of the measure that was tabled here today. The state-sponsored program would wipe out college loan debt for people who agree to live and work in Maine for at least 5 years. It would be paid for by a bond that would go before the voters. The amount of that bond has ranged from $250 million down to $25 million. Now, the idea is supported by Governor Paul LePage. If voters approve a bond, more rules would have to be worked out after that. Again, though, that proposal was tabled by lawmakers today, which means they will not be talking about it again until January. I will be back in just a few minutes with more from Augusta. For now, I'm going to send it back to you, Lee.
All right, Amanda, thank you very much. So hot and humid pretty much sums up the second day of August. We've got JC hanging out for Casey as he's at the beach sea. And Jess, what's going on? We got some heat.
He probably is at the beach today. Right now, we're dealing with a couple thunderstorms out there, some severe thunderstorms too. You can see them right now in parts of western Maine. We'll zoom in so we can see exactly where that's headed. Right now, some torrential downpours are happening. It's getting a little dicey out there. Heading towards the Waterford area, then after that near Bridgeton, just to the north of Bridgeton, I think this storm will stay. But Oxford and Casco, you want to be on the lookout. You can see all of the lightning here with this storm. A lot of that is cloud to ground lightning. That's what we saw a lot in those storms the other day that moved through the Freiburg area. Also, notice this little kind of pink here in the center. That's when we sometimes see some hail. So watch out for up to nickel-size hail and possibly wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour. Some other storms right now into New Hampshire near the Laconia area as well. We'll keep an eye on those as they move a little bit farther to the west and move a little bit closer to our area over the next couple of hours here. Temperatures still fairly warm out there, except where you can see the storms have moved through. Most of us in the upper 70s and lower 80s. Those dew points are still high too. That is conducive to some thunderstorms, so I'll be keeping an eye on these as we go through the night. Lee?
All right, Jessica, thank you very much. We saw dozens of people posting all about social media today about this incident that went on at Hannaford and Saco, so we went to find out what was going on. Police say officials evacuated the supermarket because of a bomb threat about 1:45 this afternoon. Investigators say somebody got a text message saying a bomb was inside the store. That person called police. State police responded with canines but found nothing dangerous. Everything is now back to normal at that store.
I want to say thank you for all the wishes and everything. I am doing great.
That is the man who police say was hit by a drunk driver in Brunswick over the weekend. John Menard was riding his bike, riding home from his job, when police say Kirsten Phillips hit him with her vehicle and took off. Menard's cousin, Jake McDaniel, says he was last listed in serious but stable condition at Maine Medical Center and is getting stronger every day. In the video, Menard says somebody donated a new bike to him. Officers eventually caught up with Phillips, and she's charged with operating under the influence and leaving the scene of an accident. There is a fundraising effort underway to help pay for Menard's medical costs, which you will find on our website and our mobile apps.
We're live at the State House. It is no secret Governor LePage has had his fair share of controversy. By his side through it all, his press secretary. We're sitting down with Adrienne Bennett when Now continues.
A college football player in Florida loses his scholarship because of his YouTube videos. Katie Ortiz here with your social stop. A backup kicker at the University of Central Florida announced he was deemed ineligible to play over some cash he makes from advertisements on the website. Donald De La Haye's YouTube channel has more than 100,000 subscribers. His videos get just as many views, if not double that number. But here's the problem. The clips are about football, and like everybody else on social media, he refers to his status and affiliated organization, his being the NCAA. Now, according to USA Today, the university felt he was violating NCAA rules. So through a waiver, both the university and the NCAA said De La Haye could make monetized videos as long as they weren't about football. At that point, he said forget it and lost his scholarship.
A young man having fun in his free time, making little videos to help motivate and inspire others. And I get deemed ineligible to continue playing college sports because of it. But you know, the NCAA monsters, man. If it don't benefit them, then they don't want it.
Social media overwhelmingly in support of De La Haye. Linda says what he does on his personal time is his business. As long as it's not illegal and he doesn't let it interfere with football, what matters? Now, sports reporters too. Aaron Ferguson called it a shame. The NCAA gets it wrong again. Now, Lee, the NCAA, you know, they have this reputation of being really strict when it comes to athletes, you know, essentially making money off of themselves.
Sure. Well, this is like a two-layered thing. One, he's wrong because it's against NCAA rules, and it's been against NCAA rules forever. So this isn't new. He should know better. He was kind of pushing the envelope, and he's going to get a lot of attention for this, and that might not be the last thing he really wanted. Maybe it was exactly what he wanted, was to get attention,
Right.
but you know well in advance you can't do that. Now the NCAA also, oh by the way, wrong, but that's a longer discussion than we have time for now. But they make the hundreds of millions of dollars off of these kids and their likenesses and their numbers and their sports, and the kids get $0. They get the scholarships, which obviously has monetary value as well, but they make tons, the kids get none. That should be fixed, but the kid knows better than that.
Yep, definitely
both
Talker.
wrong.
Both wrong.
Wrong.
They cancel each other out, right?
That's
No.
right. So that makes them right?
Yeah.
No, they're both wrong. All right.
Well, let us know what you think online, because it's definitely a big talker right now. So.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to get the full forecast coming up next on News Center. There have been a few pop-up storms on the radar. Jess Conley is going to show us what's happening right now and look ahead to our weekend weather after this.
Welcome back to Augusta, where lawmakers are trying to wrap up for the summer. One other major thing going on here today. For the last 6.5 years, we have seen her right by the governor's side. Adrienne Bennett, she's been his press secretary. Today is her last day on the job. She's moving into the private sector. She started in the main media. She was in television news, and this was actually her first public relations job, and boy, was it a big one. So we sat down with her to talk to her about her journey.
I listened a lot in meetings for the first couple of months. I didn't do my first interview until probably the 3rd month in, I think. And so, you know, I had to learn from others first.
You say learning from others, but our governor basically set new levels and new examples. The famous Christmas tree with the pigs.
Christmas in July, yes.
Yep. Obviously the voicemail to Representative Gatine.
Yes. Honesty was the thing that was on my mind the most. You know, how can I articulate the governor's message? I know what he means to say. Sometimes it doesn't come out as tactful as we may want to hear, or as nicely, or as soft as, you know, I can come across. But, you know, how can we be honest with Mainers about what's really going on in government and fix the problem, come up with solutions and fix the problem ultimately. So he is never going to be a politician, although, you know, he's going to leave quite the legacy.
Have there been moments that stick out to you that were just completely frustrating?
Yeah, absolutely. We all have good days, bad days at work, and you're frustrated on some days more than others, and that absolutely happened here. I think in politics right now, we're in an unprecedented time, first of all, with what's going on in the nation. We're divided as a nation, and I think in Maine we have been. I think we have been governing from two extremes for too long, and we need to come back closer to the middle. And the governor has even said the same.
Is there anything you're leaving with that you feel like you're incredibly proud of to have been a part of this administration?
It's been a tremendous honor, and I have been very fortunate to serve for him. I've met many people, and I just feel very fortunate to have that opportunity, and I'm looking forward to the future. So I hope this isn't my peak of my PR career, but it certainly has helped, and I am blessed to have had the opportunity this past 6.5 years, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does in the next 17 months or so.
And maybe getting rid of that ulcer, getting some more sleep.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Okay, the last time I sat down with Adrienne, she had kind of hinted at maybe a run for governor in her future, but today she seemed like she was ready to just stay in public relations. That said, she does love politics, and she will continue to be engaged in what's happening. Lee?
All right, Amanda, thank you very much. Check this video out. 14-year-old Kaylee Richards sent this in. A close encounter with an eagle swooping down right next to her boat while fishing on Big Lake in Princeton, Maine. Both Kaylee and the eagle doing a little fishing. That is a pretty cool video right there. Just you could hear the scream like,
I know.
Ah!
I know.
I mean, that close to an eagle.
Who wouldn't scream like
Come
that
on,
if an
that's
eagle
so
came
cool.
down?
Yeah. And good for them to see it coming from far away where they
I know.
started recording it, because those are things that you happen, you go, I wish I had recorded that.
Yeah.
So
Good job.
It's the world
Good
we
job
live
on
in.
that.
Everybody's
Yeah.
recording everything.
I know, it's true.
So what are we recording for weather?
Lots going on really across New England, and even in Maine now we have a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Oxford and Cumberland County, so we're keeping an eye on that. But you can see pretty busy radar really all across the Northeast. Lots of instability out there, and we are getting lots of, whoa, there we go, getting lots of thunderstorms as well. There's that severe thunderstorm warning again, southwest Oxford County, in northwest Cumberland County. Let's zoom in a little bit so we can see exactly where we're talking about. Towns and cities in the area right now. Waterford, you are about to see some showers and storms move through your area. Oxford and Paris, kind of get ready. A few storms definitely possible. This severe thunderstorm warning goes until 5:45, but we could see that get extended as we go get a little bit closer to that time. Harrison, too, be ready. Right now, a lot of cloud to ground lightning with this storm. Just be careful. If you hear thunder, that means head inside because it is close enough. The storm is close enough for you to be struck by lightning. Some more storms over in New Hampshire. Laconia seeing a few thunderstorms at this time. We'll watch as they move a little bit farther to the east, keeping an eye on those. Also in Conway, in the North Conway area, you can see a few thunderstorms there right now. So still keeping an eye on those as they move into the state of Maine. A couple storms a little bit farther to the north and west to Eustis. You might see, or you might hear, a rumble of thunder in the next hour or so. All right, had a pretty warm day today. High temperatures made it into the mid to upper 80s for most of us. 87 the high today in Bangor, above normal for this time of year. Portland made it up to 84 today. Cooler along the coast. Rockland only at 72. A little bit of a breeze off the water. Most of us now anywhere from the mid 70s to the low 80s, so it is still pretty comfortable out there tonight. All right, as we head into tomorrow, this is for tonight, still a couple chances of thunderstorms for the next few hours, but then as we go into tomorrow, we'll see a few clouds around throughout the day tomorrow, then another chance of seeing some showers and thunderstorms develop as we head into tomorrow afternoon and evening. You can see them here. Then pretty much repeat that again for the day on Friday. Once we get into Friday afternoon and evening, you can see a couple chances for some showers and thunderstorms, especially across New Hampshire and far western Maine. Watching the dew points too, it's going to stay fairly humid through tomorrow, definitely through the day on Friday, and then I'm keeping an eye still on Saturday morning. Look at some of the dew points for the Beach to Beacon in the mid to upper 60s. Those dew points mean it is definitely going to be humid. Here's the forecast for the weekend. A little bit of a sneak peek, a chance of showers and storms as we get into Saturday, but Sunday looking much better. Marine forecast for tomorrow, seas around 3 feet, winds from the southwest at about 10 to 15 knots, but they're going to gust a little bit higher. Here's your extended forecast. Again, tomorrow, a couple showers and storms in the afternoon. Same thing as we head into the day on Friday. By Saturday, looks like those showers and storms will hold off into the afternoon and evening hours. Sunday looks pretty good, and it's even looking good as we head into next Monday. Just dealing with some of the typical summertime stuff right now. Next chance for some pretty heavy rain comes on Tuesday. Guys? Okay.
All right, thank you very much. Cindy Williams here now with what's coming up at 5:30.
The message from one Portland business is the police need to do something about mental health problems and drugs in the city of Portland. This comes after a man was caught on surveillance video just really verbally assaulting some people in a Portland deli. So we're going to find out what the business owner there is saying police really need to do to help them. Plus, the search is on for a missing priest, but one man is still holding out hope even though it's looking pretty bleak that they're going to find him. So we're going to have much more on that coming up at 5:30.
All right, thank you very much, ma'am. News Center now at 5 continues after the break.
Welcome back to the State House. We just want to update you on the Pulse results here. A lot of you weighing in on whether the state should help pay student loans. We're kind of split here. 52% saying no, 48% saying yes. So thanks for voting. Meanwhile, we know what's coming up on Saturday, right? Huge race. The TD Beach to Beacon 10K is happening. It's a fairly big deal to even just finish that race. That's something Margie Adams can attest to. She has been running every single year. In fact, she had to make it through a pretty difficult challenge in her life to make that: cancer. For the last 19 Augusts.
And it's just important to keep going, to keep showing up.
Margie Adams has saved a special weekend for the Beach to Beacon.
When you're a legacy runner, it's really hard not to come back.
Every year.
You don't want to miss out on what you've been doing all this time. And there's kind of a special bond between the runners who have done it every year.
Even when the chips are down.
I was diagnosed with breast cancer 12 and a half years ago. I'd had 2 surgeries. I was in the middle of chemotherapy infusions.
But when something is that difficult, sometimes it becomes more worthwhile.
It was important for me to, throughout the whole diagnosis and the treatment time, to maintain as much of a normal routine in my life as possible. And for me, that meant getting up in the morning and putting on my shoes and going out the door for a run.
Sometimes a jog, sometimes just a walk, one foot after the other.
And it became an important part of that, just to get out and breathe the fresh air, to get strong enough to work through the infusions, and to know that that's what I had to do to get better.
And when the race finally came, Margie crossed the finish line with her daughter and her friend on either side of her.
It was inspiring to be there with people who also had other issues and other challenges. It made me recognize that running is not easy for everyone, and it just gave me a little bit of a different perspective on the whole racing the course, or just running the course, or just showing up, tying your shoes, and getting from one end to the other.
Which is what so many of the Beach to Beacon runners do, pushing to finish their goal.
So it's everyone. It's not just one caliber of runner or racer. It's everyone from the elites to the people who are just inspired to get up off the couch, get in shape, just to run this race in August. So it's a wonderful sight to see. My goal is to show up at the start, finish without embarrassing myself, and feel okay after the run. So if I can do that, I'm happy. Yeah.
Again, the 20th annual Beach to Beacon 10K is this Saturday. Friday night at 7 o'clock, News Center will air a half-hour special Beach to Beacon, a 20-year run. That is this Friday night at 7 o'clock right here on News Center. Lee, John Kerrigan is standing right over there. He's ready to go. He's got much more on what lawmakers talked about inside the State House. That's coming up in the next half hour. I am saying goodbye from Augusta.
Well, before I let you go, are you running the Beach to Beacon on Saturday?
No, but I'll be there in support. I don't run. Sorry.
That's all. I will be at the finish line for the 20th consecutive year, and I will, because someone's got to be there to cheer everybody on, so I won't be able to be there. All right, Amanda, thank you very much. And as she mentioned, our show is Friday night, 7 o'clock, full half hour, 20 years of Beach to Beacon, so it's a pretty big deal. And in case you missed it just a few seconds ago, Jessica Connolly talking about the weather for the Beach to Beacon on Saturday morning, and if you are going to be running, you might be dry, but you might be wet with sweat because it's going to be humid. I know runners do not love the humidity, but I'm sorry, that looks like that's what we're getting. We'll keep an eye on it as it gets closer. Thanks for watching News Center Now at 5 o'clock. News Center at 5:30 starts right now.